morning, everyone. Can you hear in the back? Yeah, good, thanks. Welcome to KCC's Sunday practice. My name is Zopa, and I'm very happy that you've joined in here to practice some Dharma together. We have about 15 people who are joining us in some way from India, who are in the Mahamudra seminar there with our teacher, Kempo Lodrodonyo, and our good friend, Lama Eric Troublehorn, and many others. So let's keep them in mind this morning as we practice, because there's a lot of benefit that we and they are creating together. And also our dear friends out on the 3-year retreat at the beautiful land of Golden Light, out the gorge, who will be coming out of retreat in June sometime. So we have a big Sangha, bigger than what we see here. And we can think, as Lama Michael says, of countless beings joining with us. So you can think of your mother of this life on your left and your father of this life on your right. However difficult or beautiful your relationship is or has been, just bring them in. Siblings, friends, difficult ones, strangers. Invite them here in your imagination, because truly we are that interconnected all the time. So whatever thing we do here will affect them. Whatever thing we do anywhere affects. So we follow our usual Sunday schedule, which is about 45, 50 minutes of sitting. We take a nice tea break and get to know one another better. And then if you can, please stay for the Q&A, 45 minutes to an hour of exploring the Dharma and our practice together. And it seems to be quite helpful to one another that we bring our questions. So it seems that life has suffering with it. I don't know about you, but I've been on the earth this time 70 years. And yeah, there are moments of peace and joy, thank goodness, and of kindness. But there's suffering. So we come to seek refuge, like a harbor, something we can rely on that gives us a sense of moving away from that suffering, of not adding more to it, and perhaps even ending it completely, which is the promise of the Buddha, by the way, that if we practice this path, train our minds, suffering can end since it arises in the mind. So, due to this suffering, we and others need refuge. And we say our refuge prayer over and over, kind of remind ourselves that we need refuge, because I don't know about you, but I take refuge all day long in what the Buddhists call worldly worldly joys, worldly refuge. There's nothing wrong with those things. They're not inherently bad. They're inherently good, actually, at their core. But we get confused and think that they can give us more than they actually can bear to give us. So we put kind of a burden on our family and our friends, thinking that's our refuge. And then, because just being human, they inevitably disappoint, and us being human, caught in expectations and disappointment, and the wheel of suffering gets turned again. So I think you already know, but we're looking for refuge in something more reliable, something that can bear the kind of, it can bear what we put upon it and not shake, not change, not betray, not disappoint. And that is the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Our prayer also includes this amazing idea of bodhicitta, awakened mind, which on a simple level simply helps us step away from our small, self-centered spinning around the I, me, mine that never leads to freedom. It's good to take care of our I, me, mine, quite good. But most of us end up going beyond the good taken care of, and we start defending our personal territory, and I would say expanding. I expand my personal territory and then defend it. And sometimes it can get pretty big, and that's not fun for the people around. Or me, truly. Might have a moment of feeling power and getting what I want, but there are consequences to the relationships. So with these few ideas around refuge and bodhicitta, let's do our prayer together.
Ooh, until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering, to establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness.
So in this lineage, and all Buddhist lineages, compassion is defined as the wish to end the suffering of other beings first. if we can take that view, our own happiness naturally comes along. So most of us have experienced this in our lives. We can be, let's say, a little depressed, worried about something, you know, our children, worried about our houses, worried about the political situation, and get very spinning around, and then have the experience of perhaps going and serving somewhere, or coming someplace like this, where the emphasis is on compassion, and you can feel sprung from it. Or, for example, spinning around your own problem, and then someone comes with a greater need, and you naturally reach out, and all of a sudden, your own problems, there's some space around it. So this is our natural Buddha nature. Compassion's natural to us. It's natural to all beings, actually. Doesn't look like it, so something else is going on, confusion. But in our deepest nature, our Buddha nature, it's completely natural to reach out, to love, to care. And we see this even in war zones. People do this. They take care of one another. There's example after example of that. One time in retreat, Lama Michael said the following about compassion. The highest compassion we can have is to recognize the Buddha nature of all beings. So we can think about that for a minute. If we recognize the pure goodness in every being we meet, without exception, this is the highest kind of compassion. So take some moments and think about how that would unfold. Perhaps with someone you feel is quite difficult. But if you recognized their Buddha potential, your strategies toward them would likely change. If you understood they have the same deep nature as you, and they have the potential to wake up just as you do. Think how you might meet them differently. Not you're going to fix them, but how you might simply meet that being. So I'm going to say it again because I've really got impressed with this statement. The highest compassion we can have is to recognize, just recognize. You don't have to do anything about it. Just recognize the Buddha nature of all beings. So think about that. Recognize the Buddha nature of your partner in the middle of an argument. The Buddha nature of your boss. The Buddha nature of the president. The Buddha nature of the leader of North Korea. That's what the teachings are. All those folks have Buddha nature, the Buddha nature of the dog who barks at you. And it doesn't take us long to see that to do this, we have to know our own true Buddha nature. In a way, it's so simple, it's like chemistry. You put certain things together, you'll get an explosion. You put other things together, nothing will happen. So we have to bring, no, we don't have to bring, I'm trying to watch my language. We can get more and more through the practices we do in touch with the true nature that's already there, the good heart, the good-heartedness of self and other. So how do we do this? How can we remember in the midst of all the patterns of the mind that go on with the afflictions? The three basic afflictions being first the ignorance that does not see our deep interconnectedness, just pure doesn't see it, really, really believes in the individual self. I'm not talking politically or culturally, I'm just saying the sense of me. We're rarely outside of that. If you get outside of it, good on you. You know? But if you really deeply look at how you walk around the world, you have a sense of me. Sometimes it gets big because people don't do what you want. Sometimes it gets small because they're doing what you want. But you see, that's still all around the what I want, you know. So how can we recognize and remember our Buddha nature? This radiant, open, spacious, creative goodness. Like some of the teachings are, it's like space. So you think space, wow, no end. Tilopa said to Naropa, here's my teaching, find the middle of space. Go sit, find the middle of space. Now find the corners. He gave him one after another of these. This is a way to kind of try to touch on our capacity. The other metaphor I was thinking this morning, because the sun was so wonderfully shining, is the sun shines on everything and everyone. The sun doesn't say, oh, that guy, no sun for you. It's totally equanimous, no judgment, lighting it up, just giving, no effort, natural. This is what we're truly like. This is our capacity. And it's the capacity of all others. There's no living being that doesn't have that. So that's kind of a happy story, not the story we hear most of the time. But how can we recognize, remember, and experience this? Well, pretty much all the teachings say we have to start by calming down. No surprise. We're not going to recognize it through worldly excitements spinning out, you know, taking drugs, partying hard. Tried all those. A few moments of joy, then a lot of consequences. So we need to calm down, and therefore here we practice a lot of calm abiding. So we'll do that now together. It's simply a peaceful resting in that aware, clear nature at our core. Doesn't matter if you feel in this moment, I don't ever see my aware, clear nature. Actually, you do. We all do, but we miss it because we're distracted. So we can head towards it with a sense of relaxation. Check the body out. Maybe take a deep breath or two if you need. Let all the tension go. You can imagine it going out into space and disappearing, or into the earth and disappearing. And then we can let the tension in our minds go. in this moment, which is a fresh moment that we've never had before and we will never have again. That's the nature of each moment. Already gone, now another one. In these fresh moments, we can always start again. It's helpful to find an anchor to come back to, especially if you're a beginner like myself. So I use the breath at my nostrils. And we come to that anchor with no intention to change it, just to see, just to experience what a breath is actually like. And we can begin to experience that each breath actually is different. And then it's very important to not try to meditate. This is a resting in what is, not adding anything, not denying anything. Now, for most of us, all kinds of thoughts will arise, bodily sensations, emotions. That's fine. We're not trying to stop them. And we can notice if we don't entertain them, we don't ask them to stay, we don't play with them, they will go naturally. It's the nature of everything. Comes, goes. So we can check, did we get caught? Then with no judgment, in fact with happiness that we noticed, I got caught in that thought. I got caught in that sensation. Be happy that you've noticed it, let go and come back to your anchor. So we'll do this now for a while with some short breaks. Enjoy your calm abiding. there's an opportunity for a stretch break of about a minute, but place your mind before you break onto your object. It's quite important to end each session with a sense of success. So just a second of connecting with your breath, and then a stretch. If you don't need that, continue on. and set your focus. And take a stretch if you need. This time, when you focus again on your object that you're relying on for steadiness, do it with a little more intensity, yet see if you can stay relaxed. Bring a certain amount of intensity to the breath, with perhaps a thought that says, I will not move my mind off of this for the next 10 breaths, but at the same time staying relaxed.
this virtue may I quickly realize Mahamudra and establish all beings without exception in this state.
Thank you. So let's see, there's probably some announcements. Upcoming opportunities to practice. Well, every Wednesday night here from 7 to 8, there's Chenrezig practice. So even if you're curious about it, you don't have to know much. You can come and sit and listen to the chanting and enjoy that and see if it's something you want to learn more about. So that's every Wednesday night. Every other Thursday, not this one upcoming, the second and fourth Thursdays of the month, we have quite a lively mind training group studying the mind training texts one after another. So that's also at 7 o'clock. We have a class coming up with our wonderful longtime practitioner, Julie Herlocker. She's been leading a class on death and dying and all the interesting parts surrounding that which we will all go through. So maybe good to learn some about it before it happens. So Julie is continuing that class, and it will be on the first one of this new series will be Saturday, January 27th at 3 o'clock. So there are many other things planned during the year of teachings and help for your practice and help for all of our practice. So they're all on the website at kcc.org. Let me see if there's anyone here who is here for the first time. We won't put you on the spot. Just raise your hand. Anyone here who thinks of themselves as new? Hi, welcome. Do you want to just share your first name? Alex. Alex? Nancy Ann. What is it? Nancy Ann. Lacey Ann? Nancy Ann. Sorry, my hearing's not great. And? Shelley. Greg. Anybody else? Yeah, Paul. Okay, welcome. We're happy you've joined us. So we're going to have tea now in the back of the room and some snacks. So please say hi to our new people, and please say, new people say hi to people who've been here. Anything else? Oh yes, thank you. Thank you. Even I have a piece of paper, but I need more than that. So we're going to do our annual Sangha Wingding. Used to be called a meeting, but I think Wingding sounds a lot more fun. Wingding, we might come. Meeting, another meeting. Okay, Saturday, February 10th, 12 to 3:30, right here, and everyone is welcome. New, long time, or whatever. We will have potluck lunch, so please bring something yummy to eat. We'll have a short meditation, and we'll have presentations from Lama Michael, the program council, which is the teachers and some others who plan the programs, the Dharma programs here, and the board of directors who make everything work. There will be a slideshow which looks at how we renovated this place from this lovely old church into even a lovelier, beautiful Buddhist center, still in process. And we'll have a chance to thank volunteers and then eat even more food. Anything else for the good of all. The bookstore is right there, especially since there's some new people. You might want to pop in there. There's beautiful, wonderful things in there, even for non-Buddhists. So please have a look there. Yeah, Ruth. Okay, talk to Linda. She will help you with how to find that. And do you have something else? Or you were just saying that?
No. So in the next couple weeks, there's a lot of activity going to be happening downstairs. We're going to be grinding the cement floor and moving things around and adding carpet and tiles, that kind of thing. And in the process, we're going to need some laborers to move things from out of the kids' room back out into the main area. And the dates aren't set on this, but if you have any interest in this, let me know and give me your contact information, and we can call and see if it'll work out, the timing will work out. But we're going to need some bodies, so. And moving things from the tent back here into the shed, it's exciting.
Lots of progress. So even if you have 1 hour, I assume that could be helpful. Okay, any other announcements?